Go ahead. Open your fridge. What do you see? A carton of milk. A pack of deli slices. A leftover dinner sealed in plastic. Maybe a sweet drink waiting for later. They all look ordinary, harmless, comforting. But what if some of those everyday foods are quietly shaping your future health in ways you'd never expect? Welcome to Cancer Clarity Now, the channel where we cut through confusion and bring you clear, science-based insight into how daily choices affect long-term wellness. Before we dive in, take a moment to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next breakdown of what's really happening behind the labels on your food. Today's warning isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Because the truth is, the connection between diet and cancer isn't a myth. It's a field of research expanding every year. What scientists are learning is that it's rarely one single bite or one ingredient that matters. It's the pattern, the slow accumulation of habits, that quietly changes how your cells behave. Think of your fridge as a snapshot of your lifestyle. Every shelf holds clues. Convenience foods, sauces, flavored drinks, dairy products, meats, desserts. Together, they form a rhythm your body learns to follow. A rhythm that can either protect your cells or slowly wear them down. Let's start with something most of us rely on: packaged convenience. Those ready-to-eat meals, frozen snacks, or flavored yogurts seem like modern miracles. Fast, tasty, easy. But many of them are what nutrition scientists call ultra-processed foods. Products built not from whole ingredients, but from industrial components: refined starches, sugars, emulsifiers, colorants, and preservatives. They're made to last longer, look better, and trigger cravings. The downside? Frequent consumption has been linked to higher risks of several chronic diseases, including certain cancers. Studies suggest that the problem isn't just calories or fat. It's how these foods disturb your metabolism and gut bacteria. An inflamed, stressed body is a body more vulnerable to cellular errors. And cancer often begins with just one error that slips past repair. Next, let's talk about sugar. You already know it fuels weight gain, but there's more to the story. Excess sugar keeps your insulin levels elevated, forcing your cells into constant growth mode. That hormonal overstimulation can increase the risk of insulin-resistant conditions, and over time, create an internal environment where abnormal cells are more likely to thrive. This doesn't mean dessert is forbidden. It means the constant drizzle of sweetness hidden in condiments, drinks, and breakfast foods adds up faster than you realize. Most people consume 3 times the daily limit recommended by health authorities, and often without noticing. Another quiet player sits behind every home-cooked meal: the oils we cook with. Vegetable oils aren't all equal. Some, like olive oil, are stable and rich in antioxidants. Others, especially those refined from seeds and reused at high heat, can form compounds that irritate tissues and promote oxidative stress. The same process that makes metal rust. Inside the body, that rusting means DNA damage and chronic inflammation, 2 of cancer's favorite conditions. And then there's the subject of leftovers, a symbol of thrift and practicality. But food safety experts remind us that stored meals must be cooled quickly and reheated properly. When leftovers linger too long, or when they're microwaved in plastic containers that release chemicals such as BPA, the result isn't just off flavor. It can mean trace exposures to compounds that disrupt hormones. Those disruptions may sound minor, but hormones are your body's communication system. And when those signals misfire, cell growth can go off track. None of this means you need to throw out everything and start over. It means understanding the why behind the warning. For decades, public health researchers have observed something remarkable. Populations that eat mostly whole, minimally processed foods, vegetables, fruits, grains, beans, nuts, modest amounts of animal products, have significantly lower rates of diet-related cancers. The difference isn't one superfood or miracle ingredient. It's the pattern: fiber, antioxidants, and natural compounds that calm inflammation instead of feeding it. So when you hear, this everyday food could cause cancer, it isn't about panic. It's a wake-up call to look closer at the everyday mix inside your fridge. Ask yourself, how many items were grown or raised naturally, without a label full of chemicals? How many were made to last months instead of days? How many contain sugar, refined flour, or stabilizers hiding under names you can't pronounce? Each small choice, switching from sugary drinks to water, from processed deli slices to fresh poultry or beans, from margarine to real avocado or olive oil, builds momentum in the direction of health. Here at Cancer Clarity Now, our goal isn't to scare you. It's to empower you. Because the moment you open that fridge with awareness, you've already taken the first step toward lowering your risk. And the truth is, your body wants to heal. It's built to detoxify, to repair, to fight for you, if you give it the right tools. Food can either be the slow poison that drags you down, or the daily medicine that lifts you up. So stay with us. We'll uncover what scientists have learned about how these foods influence your body at the cellular level. What really happens inside when sugar, preservatives, or oxidized oils meet your DNA. You'll see why small, consistent changes can dramatically shift your body's defenses. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss that next deep dive. Because every week, Cancer Clarity Now brings you closer to understanding the truth behind the foods you trust, and how to use that knowledge to live stronger, longer, and clearer. When we think about food, we often see colors, textures, flavors, things we can touch and taste. But beneath every bite, there's something invisible happening, a quiet chemical conversation between what you eat and the trillions of cells inside you. Every sip, every snack, every meal sends messages, and those messages can either tell your body, heal and repair, or whisper, inflame and mutate. Let's step inside your body for a moment. When you eat a fresh apple, your body recognizes the nutrients, vitamins, fiber, antioxidants as allies. They're clean, natural signals that tell your cells to renew, detoxify, and stay balanced. But when you eat an ultra-processed snack, say, a flavored yogurt with artificial sweeteners, or a microwave meal packed with preservatives, the story changes. Your body has to work harder to understand what it's receiving. Instead of simple nutrients, it gets a flood of chemical signals, refined sugars, synthetic colors, additives, and trans fats that confuse your natural systems. Over time, these chemical messages can start a cascade of biological stress. Let's break it down. Your body is made of trillions of cells that constantly copy themselves. Most of the time, those copies are perfect. But when oxidative stress, caused by things like fried oils, processed meats, and sugar overload, enters the picture, it can damage DNA, the very code that tells your cells how to behave. Normally, the body can fix this damage through repair enzymes. But if the damage keeps happening faster than repair, errors slip through. And cancer often begins as one of those errors. A cell that stops listening, starts multiplying, and refuses to die when it should. Now, one of the main players behind this process is inflammation, the body's alarm system. A little inflammation helps heal wounds or fight infection. But chronic inflammation, the kind triggered by daily consumption of highly processed, high-sugar or high-fat foods, keeps that alarm ringing non-stop. It floods your system with stress chemicals, disrupts hormones, and weakens immune defenses that normally destroy emerging cancer cells. So when your fridge is full of foods that feed inflammation, sweetened drinks, processed meats, fried leftovers, refined oils, it's like fueling a fire that never cools down. But there's more. The gut, often called your second brain, plays a major role in this hidden chemistry. Your gut microbiome, a community of trillions of bacteria, communicates with your immune system daily. When you eat fiber-rich, natural foods, You feed the good bacteria that produce anti-inflammatory compounds. When you eat ultra-processed foods, low in fiber but high in chemicals, you feed harmful bacteria instead. The ones that create toxic byproducts linked to colon and liver cancers. The balance shifts, and so does your body's protection. Next, let's talk about something less visible but deeply impactful: chemical additives. Many packaged foods contain preservatives like sodium nitrite, potassium bromate, or butylated hydroxyethylene BHD. Chemicals that keep products fresh, colorful, and long-lasting. Individually, in small doses, they're considered safe. But in reality, people consume them daily from multiple sources: breakfast cereal, cold cuts, sauces, baked goods. Scientists call this the cocktail effect. It's not about one ingredient, but how many small exposures combine inside you over time. Your liver works tirelessly to neutralize these compounds, but constant exposure wears it down. The result? More oxidative stress, more DNA strain, more opportunity for errors to spread. Even the way we cook our food changes its chemistry. Grilling, frying, or charring meats at high temperatures produces compounds called heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, both linked in studies to DNA damage. When oil is reused repeatedly for frying, it breaks down into acrylamides and aldehydes, compounds that increase inflammation and oxidative load. And when carbohydrates are browned or toasted too much, those same compounds form there too. That golden crust we love? Delicious, yes, but moderation matters. Now, here's the part that surprises many people. Even healthy-sounding foods can carry hidden risks when they're overprocessed. Take plant-based alternatives, for instance. Some are excellent, full of beans, lentils, and grains, but others are built from refined starches, additives, and artificial flavoring to mimic taste and texture. Without balance, they can cause the same metabolic chaos as processed meats. Or look at sweetened dairy and flavored yogurts. Products marketed as nutritious, but often loaded with added sugars and stabilizers. That constant sugar rush can raise insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, a hormone involved in cell growth that some studies have associated with certain cancers when chronically elevated. The pattern becomes clear. It's not one food, but how often we eat the engineered kind. But here's where things turn hopeful. The same chemistry that can harm can also heal. Every colorful fruit, every handful of greens, every whole grain contains compounds that reverse the very processes that promote cancer. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals. Fiber feeds the good bacteria that protect your gut. Phytonutrients, plant-based compounds found in berries, cruciferous vegetables, and spices, switch on genes that boost detoxification. In fact, scientists have observed that certain natural compounds, like sulforaphane in broccoli sprouts or curcumin in turmeric, can help repair DNA and shut down inflammatory pathways. That's the power of balance. So when you open your fridge, don't just see food. See chemistry. See a network of molecules that either work for you or against you. Ask, does what I'm eating help my body calm down or keep it on edge? Because the answer to that question is the line between risk and resilience. At Cancer Clarity Now, we believe knowledge is the most powerful detox. You can't control every exposure, but you can control your daily choices. And those choices add up. Every swap, every label read, every time you choose fresh over processed, you're rewriting your body's chemistry for the better. We'll go even deeper, exploring how these hidden food habits translate into real biological change, how your hormones, immunity, and even your genes respond to what's on your plate. Every time you eat, you're not just satisfying hunger, you're sending instructions to your brain, to your liver, to your cells, to the very DNA that defines you. Most people think food is fuel, and yes, it is, but it's also information. Each bite you take tells your body how to act, how to defend, how to heal. Let's follow a simple example. You grab a snack from the fridge, maybe leftover fried chicken, or that half bottle of soda you didn't finish last night. To you, it's quick, tasty, harmless. But to your body, it's a biochemical event. Within minutes, sugar floods your bloodstream. Your pancreas scrambles to release insulin, the hormone that helps shuttle that sugar into your cells. But when this happens over and over, day after day, your body starts ignoring insulin's message. That's insulin resistance, a silent shift that doesn't just raise diabetes risk. It also fuels the growth of certain cancers. Here's why. Cancer cells love sugar. They thrive in high glucose environments, using it as energy to multiply uncontrollably. Studies have shown that tumors can even hijack glucose transporters, specialized gateways on cells, to feed themselves first. It's like your body is unknowingly stalking the enemy supply chain. Now, let's look at the liver, one of your most hard-working organs. Every day, it filters your blood, neutralizes toxins, and processes fats and proteins. But when it's overwhelmed with processed oils, refined carbs, or preservatives, it starts storing excess fat instead. That's fatty liver disease, a silent epidemic. And while it starts as a metabolic issue, over time, chronic inflammation in the liver can progress to cirrhosis and eventually liver cancer. Your liver's cry for help doesn't come as pain at first. It's fatigue, brain fog, a slow metabolism, signals most people ignore until they can't. The next key player, your gut microbiome, that vast ecosystem of bacteria inside you. Imagine it as a rainforest. When it's balanced, good bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that calm inflammation, protect your colon, and regulate your immune response. But processed foods, especially those high in emulsifiers, sugars, and artificial flavors, act like bulldozers, flattening biodiversity. The bad bacteria take over, producing toxins like lipopolysaccharides, LPS, that leak into your bloodstream and trigger systemic inflammation. This condition, known as leaky gut, has been linked to autoimmune disease and several cancers, especially of the colon and pancreas. And yet, it often begins with something as ordinary as what's in your lunchbox. Think of your immune system as an army that depends on clean communication. When your food is filled with artificial additives, preservatives, and inflammatory fats, it's like jamming that communication line with noise. Your body's defenses weaken, damaged cells slip past unnoticed, and in that silence, rogue cells begin to grow. That's how food, something meant to sustain life, can slowly start rewriting it. But here's something incredible. The opposite is also true. Just as the wrong foods can disrupt your cellular language, the right ones can help restore it. Let's look at cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. They contain compounds like sulforaphane, which activate detoxification enzymes in your liver and switch on tumor suppressor genes. Or berries, tiny but powerful. They're loaded with anthocyanins, antioxidants that protect your DNA from oxidative damage and improve immune signaling. Even green tea, rich in EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, has been shown in lab studies to inhibit angiogenesis, the process by which tumors grow new blood vessels to feed themselves. Every healthy bite is a signal too, one that says repair, restore, resist. Now, zooming deeper, at the molecular level, what's happening is astonishing. Your food affects something called epigenetics, the way genes turn on and off based on environmental cues. That means your diet can literally change which genes are active in your cells. If you eat nutrient-rich, anti-inflammatory foods, you're telling your DNA to express protective genes, the kind that suppress tumor formation, regulate cell death, and enhance immune function. But if you eat a diet heavy in fried foods, nitrates, refined sugars, and trans fats, you're sending the opposite message. one that activates genes linked to inflammation, cell proliferation, and cancer risk. Food doesn't just feed you, it programs you. So, what's really hiding in that fridge? That leftover takeout, that sweetened beverage, that jar of processed spread. Each might seem small, but together they form a pattern. One that shapes the chemistry of your blood, the activity of your cells, and the resilience of your DNA. And here's the twist. It doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, incremental. You don't feel it until years later, when the system that once protected you is too tired to fight back. That's why awareness now is prevention tomorrow. At Cancer Clarity Now, we don't believe in fear. We believe in clarity. Because once you understand the signals your food sends, you can rewrite them. You can replace fried with fresh, soda with green tea, processed meats with plant-based proteins, sugary snacks with fruits and nuts. And with every choice, you send a new signal. One that says, I am healing, I am regenerating, I am taking control. Because cancer doesn't just happen. It's often the end of a long conversation between your body and your environment. And food is the language of that conversation. The question is, what message are you sending? Next, we'll explore the everyday foods that most people overlook. Items that seem innocent but quietly shape your long-term cancer risk. We'll name them, explain the science behind them, and show you what to choose instead. Let's start with what almost every fridge holds. Processed meats, bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli slices. They're quick, salty, satisfying. And for years, studies from the World Health Organization and American Institute for Cancer Research have warned that eating them frequently is associated with a higher risk of certain cancers, especially colorectal cancer. The problem isn't just the meat itself, it's the preservatives. Sodium nitrite and sodium nitrate keep meat pink and flavorful, but under high heat or long storage, they can form compounds called nitrosamines, substances that scientists have found to be carcinogenic in animal studies. You don't have to panic or swear off meat forever. The key is balance and frequency. Try choosing fresh poultry, fish, or plant-based proteins more often. If you do eat cured meats, keep portions small, pair them with vegetables rich in vitamin C, and cook at lower temperatures to limit nitrosamine formation. Now look at that container of sweetened yogurt or flavored milk. Dairy itself can be part of a healthy diet for many people, but the modern versions are often loaded with added sugar. Excess sugar fuels chronic inflammation and can drive insulin spikes that over time are linked with metabolic syndrome, a condition that indirectly raises the risk of several cancers. The solution? Choose unsweetened or lightly sweetened varieties. Add your own fruit, or try fermented options like kefir that support gut health instead of undermining it. Next shelf, soft drinks, juices, energy beverages. Each one delivers a rush of instant pleasure and a surge of glucose. Frequent high-sugar drink consumption has been associated in large population studies with obesity and fatty liver disease, both known to heighten overall cancer risk. Your body wasn't designed for constant sugar floods. Replacing just 1 can of soda a day with water, green tea, or sparkling water with lemon can change your insulin profile within weeks. Now move to the condiments. That bottle of mayonnaise, that tub of margarine, the creamy salad dressing. These are often made with hydrogenated oils or omega-6, heavy seed oils like soybean and corn oil. When consumed excessively and without enough omega-3s to balance them, they create an inflammatory environment inside the body, the very state cancer thrives in. Instead, experiment with olive oil, avocado oil, or homemade dressings with vinegar, herbs, and citrus. It's a small swap with powerful implications for long-term cellular health. And finally, the leftovers. Not something most people expect to hear about, but how we store and reheat food matters. Plastic containers that aren't meant for reheating can release bisphenol and phthalates, chemicals that may disrupt hormones and have been studied for potential links to cancer risk. Opt for glass or stainless steel containers, especially for hot foods or microwaving. See the pattern. None of these items are poison by themselves. The risk grows in accumulation when everyday exposure, every meal, every shortcut adds up over time. That's the hidden lesson of the fridge. Cancer isn't born from one meal. It's a story written slowly, in preservatives, sugars, oils, and habits. But the pen is still in your hand. Because for every risky choice, there's a healing one waiting right beside it. Replace deli meats with grilled chicken or chickpeas. Trade soda for water flavored with mint and berries. Use olive oil instead of margarine. Store food in glass. And load your plate with color, plants, herbs, whole grains, spices like turmeric and garlic that have anti-inflammatory potential. Each change is a vote for your body. Each choice rewrites the story before it's finished. When we open our fridge tomorrow, we can see something different. Not a collection of risks, but a collection of opportunities. Your fridge can be your medicine cabinet, not your enemy. Your diet can be your defense, not your danger. And it starts now, with awareness, intention, and clarity. This is Cancer Clarity Now. Thank you for watching, for thinking deeper, and for taking your health into your own hands. If you found value in this, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so together we can keep uncovering the truth, one meal at a time.